What if I told you that rejection is not the end, but the beginning? What if every no you've heard, every door that's slammed in your face, is actually an opportunity in disguise? In a world where rejection feels like failure, Stoicism offers us a different lens, one that turns setbacks into stepping stones. What if, instead of letting rejection define you, you could transform it into the fuel for your personal growth and wisdom? In today's video, we're diving into some timeless Stoic wisdom that will not only help you face rejection with grace but will also teach you to embrace it as a crucial part of your journey toward personal greatness. Let's explore how you can turn rejection into a powerful tool for resilience, inner strength, and growth. Stay with me, and let's uncover how to handle rejection the Stoic way, turning every challenge into an opportunity for wisdom. Number 1. Recognize that rejection can spur creativity. Stoic principle: adversity can foster creativity and new ways of thinking. In-depth explanation: rejection is often seen as a failure, a negative event, something we want to avoid at all costs. But from a Stoic perspective, rejection is neutral. It's not inherently bad, it's just an external event. It's our interpretation of the event that matters. What sets Stoicism apart is its emphasis on how we respond to external events, not the events themselves. Rejection can feel like a hard blow to our ego or sense of self-worth, but Stoicism invites us to see it as a moment of creative potential. Creativity through necessity: rejection forces you to step outside your comfort zone and rethink your approach. In situations where previous strategies fail, like when a proposal is rejected, or a project isn't accepted, you're prompted to innovate. Necessity often drives creativity. Without rejection, you might never be forced to explore alternative methods or stretch your creative muscles. A challenge to the status quo: when faced with rejection, your assumptions are challenged. If you were certain that a particular way of doing things was correct, rejection can shake that belief and force you to explore new methods, ideas, and solutions. You might discover something you never considered before, a new approach, a new perspective, or a new way of solving problems. Growth mindset: from a Stoic point of view, rejection provides an opportunity for growth. It can lead to new insights and breakthroughs. The Stoic mindset teaches that we are constantly becoming better versions of ourselves. Rejection isn't an end, it's a potential catalyst for the next level of creativity and improvement. Number 2. Don't be afraid of discomfort. Stoic principle: embrace discomfort as a tool for growth. In-depth explanation: in a culture that prioritizes comfort and convenience, Stoicism presents a radically different perspective. Discomfort is not to be feared but embraced. Discomfort, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, is an inherent part of the human experience and a necessary catalyst for growth. Stoicism teaches that we cannot avoid discomfort, but we can change our relationship to it. When faced with rejection or failure, we experience discomfort, the sting of disappointment, frustration, or even self-doubt. However, rather than shrinking from it, Stoics would encourage us to lean into this discomfort, to experience it fully, and to learn from it. Resilience building: emotional discomfort, like the pain of rejection, helps build resilience. When we face uncomfortable emotions and situations head-on, we learn how to cope with them more effectively. Over time, this practice builds emotional fortitude, making us less likely to be overwhelmed by future challenges. Discomfort, therefore, becomes a form of emotional training that strengthens us in the long run. Growth from challenge: discomfort is often a sign that we are stretching beyond our limits. For example, rejection can make us uncomfortable because it confronts our ego or our desire for external validation. Yet, this discomfort is a signal of growth. It means we are challenging ourselves, pushing our boundaries, and expanding our capacity for handling life's inevitable ups and downs. Changing perceptions of pain: Stoics encourage us to reinterpret pain and discomfort, not as something to be avoided at all costs, but as a natural, and even beneficial, part of life. By accepting discomfort, we change how we experience it. Instead of seeing it as a barrier or a failure, we begin to see it as a teacher, helping us grow in ways that comfort cannot. Number 3. Avoid focusing on what you can't control. Stoic principle: focus your energy only on what you can control. In-depth explanation: one of the central tenets of Stoicism is the distinction between what is in our control and what is not. Rejection is often the result of factors beyond our control, whether it's someone else's decision, timing, or circumstances we have no influence over. For example, a job rejection might be based on subjective preferences of the hiring manager, or external factors like budget cuts or changes in the company's direction. These factors are outside our control, yet many people waste energy dwelling on them, which only leads to frustration, anxiety, and feelings of helplessness. Focus on your response. According to Stoic thought, while we cannot control other people's decisions or the outcomes of external events, we can control our thoughts, actions, and responses. The real power lies in how we respond to rejection. We can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth, learn from the experience, and adjust our future approach. Rather than getting bogged down by the decision itself, we focus on what we can do next, how we can improve, adapt, and move forward. Mental clarity: Stoicism teaches that by focusing on what we can control, we free ourselves from unnecessary mental and emotional clutter. Worrying about things outside our control only clouds our judgment and wastes our energy. When we focus on our actions and responses, we gain clarity, resilience, and a greater sense of purpose. Empowerment through control: by concentrating on what you can control, you put yourself in a position of power. Your response to rejection, your commitment to personal growth, and your ability to move forward with resilience are all within your grasp. This empowerment is central to Stoic philosophy. It teaches that our internal state is the only thing we truly control, and therefore, it is the key to navigating all external challenges with strength and grace. Number 4. Learn to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. Stoic principle: life is about the journey, not just the end result. In-depth explanation: in modern society, we tend to prioritize outcomes over processes. Success, achievement, and the end result are often the focus of our goals, making us fixate on the future rather than appreciating the present moment. Stoicism invites us to shift our focus away from the destination and toward the journey itself. Rejection, in this context, becomes part of the process of growth. Life is the process, life is a continuous journey, and every experience, whether positive or negative, is part of that journey. Rejection is not a detour or a failure, but rather an integral part of the path. The lessons learned through rejection, resilience, self-awareness, new perspectives, are what contribute to our ultimate growth. The Stoic idea is that fulfillment doesn't come solely from achieving goals, but from the wisdom and character we develop along the way. Mindful living, focusing on the journey, encourages us to live more mindfully. When we are not solely concerned with the future outcome, we can enjoy the process, the challenges, the setbacks, the small wins. This leads to a deeper sense of satisfaction, as we begin to find joy in the experience itself, rather than placing all our hope in a future result. Accepting imperfection: the journey often includes failures, imperfections, and rejections. These are not signs of failure, but part of the process of growth. When we accept that the journey is imperfect and that rejection is a normal part of it, we can approach life with greater ease and less anxiety. This acceptance of imperfection leads to a more peaceful and fulfilling existence. Number 5. Use rejection to reinforce your purpose. Stoic principle: stay aligned with your higher purpose, no matter the challenges. In-depth explanation: rejection can feel discouraging, especially when it challenges our sense of self-worth or causes us to doubt our goals. But in Stoicism, rejection is seen as a test of your commitment to your higher purpose. A rejection doesn't mean your purpose is invalid, it's simply a challenge to your resolve. Stoics believe that staying aligned with a higher purpose is essential for living a meaningful life. Reinforcement of resolve: rejection, in this view, doesn't diminish your purpose. Instead, it reaffirms it. When faced with setbacks, your deeper commitment to your purpose will help you persevere. If your goals are rooted in something meaningful, whether it's personal growth, contributing to society, or achieving a long-term vision, rejection won't deter you. It will only strengthen your resolve to keep moving forward. Oh, testing character, rejection challenges your dedication to your values. Stoics see adversity, including rejection, as an opportunity to test and strengthen your character. If you truly believe in your mission, rejection won't derail you. It will remind you of why you're on this path in the first place. Oh, motivation through purpose, staying focused on your larger purpose makes rejection easier to bear. When you know why you're doing something and what you hope to achieve in the long run, rejection becomes a temporary setback, not a definitive end. It's a reminder that the journey toward fulfilling your purpose will have ups and downs, but your commitment to that purpose will remain unwavering. Number 6. Challenge your beliefs and assumptions. Stoic principle, challenge your judgments to better align with reality. In-depth explanation, at the core of Stoicism is the idea that our judgments often shape our reality. The way we interpret events, especially negative ones like rejection, can profoundly impact how we experience them. Rejection often leads to assumptions about our own inadequacy or failure. But these assumptions are subjective and are not necessarily grounded in fact. Stoicism invites us to question these assumptions and see the world more clearly. The emotions you feel after rejection, shame, fear, guilt, often stem from distorted beliefs about your self-worth. Example, let's say you've been rejected for a promotion at work. A common automatic belief might be, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to advance. Stoicism urges you to challenge these thoughts. Ask yourself, is this belief based on facts, or is it based on fear? Maybe the promotion went to someone else, not because you're unqualified, but because they had a different skill set, or the timing wasn't right. Rejection may be more about circumstances than about you as a person. Reframing your beliefs in this way helps you view rejection not as a personal attack, but as an event with many factors, some of which are beyond your control. Number 7. Become comfortable with uncertainty. Stoic principle, life is uncertain, and we must learn to navigate it with wisdom and composure. In-depth explanation, Stoicism teaches that the external world is unpredictable, and uncertainty is a constant. We often try to control or avoid uncertainty because it feels uncomfortable. But Stoicism urges us to accept uncertainty and navigate it with composure. Rejection often happens because of external factors, things you cannot control, like timing, market conditions, or personal preferences of others. The Stoic approach is to stop viewing rejection as an abnormal or unfair event and instead accept it as part of the natural flow of life. Oh, example, if you're rejected from a job, you might wonder why it happened. The truth is, the reasons are often outside your control. Perhaps the company was going in a different direction, or they had budget constraints. Rejection, in this case, can be a reminder that much of life is outside our control. Instead of fearing uncertainty, we should learn to embrace it. In Stoicism, the focus is always on how you respond. You can't control the timing of opportunities, but you can control how you react when things don't go as planned. The more you embrace uncertainty, the more resilient you become in the face of setbacks. Number 8. Take responsibility for your growth. Stoic principle, you are responsible for your own growth and development. In-depth explanation, Stoicism places a high value on personal responsibility. This means taking ownership of your actions, thoughts, and reactions, even when faced with rejection. When something goes wrong, it's easy to blame external circumstances, other people, luck, timing. But Stoicism teaches that your response to those external factors is what matters most. Rejection, while often painful, is an opportunity to reflect and learn. By taking responsibility for your growth, you shift your focus from what went wrong to what you can learn from it. Oh, example, let's say you've applied for several jobs and faced repeated rejections. Instead of blaming external factors, like an overly competitive job market or biased hiring practices, Stoicism encourages you to focus on what you can control. How can you improve your resume? How can you refine your interview skills? Rejection offers a chance to assess what you could have done differently, which leads to personal growth. By adopting this mindset, you begin to see rejection not as failure, but as a stepping stone to improvement. It places the responsibility for your success squarely on your shoulders. Number 9. Maintain equanimity in the face of rejection. Stoic principle: cultivate a calm and balanced mind in all situations. In-depth explanation: equanimity is the ability to maintain a calm and balanced mind, regardless of external circumstances. Rejection often brings up strong emotions, like anger, disappointment, or frustration. These emotions can cloud judgment and prevent constructive action. The Stoic approach, however, encourages you to experience these emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It's natural to feel upset after rejection, but Stoicism teaches you not to let these emotions dictate your behavior. Example: imagine you've been rejected for a project or a partnership that you were really excited about. Naturally, you might feel hurt or even angry. The Stoic approach would be to acknowledge these emotions without letting them control your next steps. Take a deep breath, process the emotions, and then shift your focus to a rational assessment of the situation. Instead of reacting impulsively, like sending an angry email or withdrawing, you practice composure and allow yourself to calmly assess the reasons for rejection and how you can move forward constructively. Equanimity is not about suppressing emotions, but about controlling your response to them. It's about balancing your emotional reactions with rational thinking, enabling you to handle rejection with dignity and wisdom. Number 10. Recognize the importance of self-reliance. Stoic principle: reliance on others for validation is a weakness, self-reliance is a virtue. In-depth explanation: a major source of pain from rejection comes from the way we rely on external validation, whether it's the approval of others, praise, or recognition. When that external validation is removed or withheld, as in the case of rejection, it can feel like our value is diminished. Stoicism, however, teaches that true strength comes from self-reliance, the ability to recognize your own worth without depending on others to validate it. Example: after being rejected from a social event or job, it's easy to feel unworthy. But Stoicism teaches us to lean into our own sense of value. Instead of relying on someone else's opinion or validation, we should cultivate our own internal sense of self-worth. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback or failing to recognize areas for improvement, but rather not letting rejection define who we are as individuals. By developing self-reliance, you build resilience in the face of rejection, knowing that your worth is independent of others' judgments. Practicing self-reliance helps to reduce the emotional sting of rejection, as it no longer holds the power to diminish your sense of value. Number 11. Remember that rejection doesn't mean you are unfit. Stoic principle: your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. In-depth explanation: one of the most painful aspects of rejection is the belief that it reflects your worth as a person. This is a key distinction that Stoicism makes: your intrinsic value is not dependent on external judgments. Rejection does not mean that you are inherently unfit or unworthy, it's simply a reflection of a mismatch between what you offer and what is needed or wanted in that specific moment or context. Example: if you're rejected from a job, you might initially think, "I wasn't good enough," or "I'm unqualified." However, Stoicism teaches that rejection is often due to factors beyond your control. Perhaps the employer was looking for a slightly different skill set, or maybe your timing was off. This does not mean you are unfit for success. Rejection is more about the fit between the circumstances and your offer, not a reflection of your true worth. Stoicism encourages you to see rejection as a momentary event, not a judgment of your abilities or character. By internalizing the idea that your worth is not contingent on others' opinions, you can remain steadfast in your belief in your capabilities, regardless of external outcomes. Number 12. Reframe rejection as a sign of effort. Stoic principle: progress and growth come from trying, not from avoiding failure. In-depth explanation: in Stoicism, success is not about achieving a specific outcome but about acting with virtue, courage, and integrity. Rejection is a sign that you have made an effort, put yourself out there, and taken a risk. The Stoic mindset reframes rejection not as failure, but as evidence of your willingness to challenge yourself and pursue your goals. Example, if you submit a proposal for a project and are rejected, instead of viewing it as a failure, recognize that you took the initiative to try. In Stoic terms, the effort itself is the true success. You showed courage by putting forth your ideas, and that is a victory. Rejection then becomes part of the natural process of striving toward personal growth. It's not a personal setback, it's a step in the journey. This reframing helps reduce the emotional sting of rejection, as it shifts the focus away from the outcome and onto the process of growth and effort. Number 13, embrace the concept of eudaimonic success. Stoic principle: true success is living a life of virtue and integrity, not material achievements. In-depth explanation: Stoicism defines success as living in accordance with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, not achieving external markers like wealth, fame, or recognition. Rejection does not undermine this deeper, more meaningful sense of success. Instead, rejection tests whether you can maintain your integrity, composure, and wisdom in the face of challenges. Example, after facing rejection, a Stoic might ask themselves, did I act with integrity throughout this process? Did I remain true to my values? If the answer is yes, then you have succeeded in the Stoic sense, regardless of the outcome. By focusing on virtuous behavior, you measure success by how you live, not by external achievements. Rejection no longer has the power to diminish your sense of success because you are anchored in a deeper, internal source of meaning and fulfillment. The Stoic approach thus allows you to view rejection as an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to living a virtuous life. So, next time rejection comes knocking, remember, it's not the end of the road, but a chance to redefine your path. Embrace it as a sign that you're growing, learning, and pushing yourself to new heights. By embracing Stoic wisdom, we can shift our focus from the fear of failure to the strength that comes from facing life's challenges head-on. Rejection isn't personal, it's part of the journey. With the right mindset, it becomes the stepping stone to your greatest achievements. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little extra Stoic wisdom in their life. And as always, remember, your next rejection could be your greatest opportunity. Until next time, keep growing, and keep embracing the journey.